Previously on Balls.
Pressure you're under this week, mate. I think 80,000 tickets sold already for Soccer City on Saturday. Stuart, how's it looking, mate? How's the squad looking? Any injuries we need to know about for Saturday's big derby against Orlando Pirates?
At this moment, no. We've got. It looks like Major had a day off with a bit of a virus early in the week, but it looks like he's back this morning. So the only one that we've got out is Sibong and Corsi, who's in full training but not ready for selection.
Okay, mate. Stuart, you've had a few of these derbies now. You're starting to become a regular at the Soweto Derby. How does it compare? You've obviously been, like I have, to Glasgow Old Firm derbies, maybe a couple of Manchester, Liverpool. I don't know if you've ever done the El Clasico. Yeah. How does it rate for you, the great South African derby, in comparison with some of the big games that you've been to?
Well, in terms of sheer interest, I mean, it's as big as anything in terms of sheer interest and passion and as a spectacle. But in terms of uniqueness, it's probably also very, very different to everything else. You know, I think the fact that the crowd mingle, the crowd approach it in a sort of almost like a carnival atmosphere. You know, not taking away from the importance of the game, but I think they do. They get so hyped up for it, but it's on a different level. So I think it's unique, and I think it's something that we should cherish and be proud of, because it isn't the same as the other derbies that you've just mentioned. No,
absolutely. What I love about South African derbies, Stuart, and you would have seen these like I have, is that there's almost no crowd segregation. The segregation of the fans. You've got the yellow and the black.
Exactly.
There's a trend for some of the Chiefs guys to sit there or the Pirates guys to sit there, and yet I don't see much aggro, and I don't. Obviously there's banter, but there doesn't seem to be much aggro. I think that's something else we should cherish in South Africa, is that Chiefs and Pirates fans, for all their rivalry, can sit quite close to each other.
Exactly. No, I mean, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I think that's.
And talking about rivalry, Stuart, how do you and Roger de Sá get on? I mean, do you talk much? Have you ever sat down and had a coffee with him or anything?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've known Roger for a long time. I knew Roger when I was the national coach, and we kept in touch a little bit. So yeah. I've known Roger, and I rate Roger as a friend and a colleague, and I think. A lot of people raised their eyebrows when I said I was pleased to see Pirates getting a good win. But I mean, if Pirates play badly, does that make Chiefs a better team? No, of course it doesn't. And if Pirates get a good result, does that make us useless? No, it doesn't. Yeah. It's a good result. It was a good result for Africa for South Africa when they did well in Africa. Yeah. It was a good one for Roger as a friend and a colleague. But does that mean that when we walk on the pitch, that we're going to be shaking hands and buying each other cakes? No, it doesn't. It means that when the lines are drawn in the sand, that we both know for 90 minutes we're fierce enemies, and that's it. And we'll do whatever we can to get the result for our respective teams. Now, afterwards, I would buy him a glass of wine and say either well played or unlucky, son. So that's the way it is. But I think, I don't think we need to hate each other to make it a positive rivalry. I don't think so. I think it's enough that you do your work for your club, and no matter what other people do, it doesn't make you better or worse. You do your work, and that's what counts.
Yeah, I was watching Jose Mourinho and Paul Lambert last night having a right old go at each other. Mourinho saying 10 years ago I was like you, but Lambert won the Champions League, for God's sake. Anyway, it's fascinating to watch. Yeah. Stuart, obviously ever since the big signings of strikers in this country, where Lennox Bekele and Kermit Erasmus went to Pirates and Knowledge Masono made his long, hugely anticipated return to South African football on loan, we're looking at a situation where Lennox Bekele and Knowledge Masono, could be up there vying for the Golden Boot in South Africa this season. How do you see yourself playing it against Pirates in this first leg, where obviously everyone's a little bit scaly, a little bit kind of careful about what they do? Is there a chance you might play all three, Majoro, Parker, and possibly Knowledge as well up front?
It's possible. I mean, we've got different options with them. We've played the three together in one game. We've played with just two of them in another game, and I think it's an interesting one. I mean, they'll certainly all be taking part in the game, and I think it'll depend a little bit. You alluded to that. Obviously, it's a two-leg affair, this one. So you're looking not to concede a goal at home, and you've got to try and get goals in the plus column. So I think we have to box a little bit cagely, but I certainly can envisage all of them taking part at the same time.
Great stuff. Listen, Stuart, I know you've got to go to training now. Thanks for having a quick chat with us. Look forward to Saturday and the uniqueness of the Soweto Derby, the South Africa's great sales point, I think.
Absolutely, Neil. Absolutely.
Stuart, have a good training session, mate. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is Bulls Visual Radio.